the response. On June 1st of 2015, West Fargo Police was dispatched to 1746 Huntington Court in West Fargo in response to an unresponsive baby. When officer arrived, the baby was transported to Essentia Hospital and was flown to the Children's Hospital in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Since that time, officers have been investigating the baby, which baby was pronounced dead from brain activity and was kept on life support until organ donation could be accomplished, which has occurred. And at this point, we're just waiting on autopsy. Fargo PD, Cass County, and the West Fargo Police Department are conducting an investigation into the death of was from early medical reports as the baby was still on life support, and at this point, that's what we're on.
When you say trauma, what exactly do you mean? Are you looking at internal?
We're looking at head.
And do you think that, as I know that there's a mention of
Originally, when Shaken Baby was a concern right away, at this point, we're not necessarily looking at that blunt force trauma to the head.
Something like that can happen when, then, as far as you know, and based on the scans that can pick things like that. So, what could you be looking at here?
The autopsy is going to probably give us a better example of, just in general terms, it could be immediate, or we could be looking back several days. So that's why the medical report's going to be rather. It's my understanding that they, through the neuroscience and a skeletal survey, that there was some bleeding on the brain and the ultimate death of the baby. Waiting for the full reports on that, so I can't make any comments on that right now.
So until the autopsy report, then kind of where do you take this?
Depending on when to focus our investigation on which way to go.
I've done it to know that involving trauma in a child who is not able to communicate on either an eyewitness or a confession, or what do you rely on to make this?
Is the medical reports where the hospital, especially when it comes to children and any type of abuse or trauma. And then also depending on any eyewitnesses, and we're going to be doing a lot of speaking with people who've had contact with this baby over the last probably several months of its life.
Any specific charges at this point?
It's really too early in the investigation to say anything like that. What we do know right now is that we have a baby and, due to trauma that occurred to it.
Do you know about how many
Especially since the child's been flown to Minneapolis. We've been in contact with them numerous times in the day. At this point, both of us are running down different leads pertaining to their jurisdiction, and we'll find out Monday where kind of everyone sits, or if not earlier. My understanding is that they are still conducting an open investigation as well.
So if the medical examiner gets back to you today, would it be a preliminary finding that you're looking for initially? I mean, the first thing you want to know is what?
I think anything that they believe would be significant to the immediate death of this child, they'll let us know. One of the things that we're going to try and attempt to have them pinpoint is time when the injury occurred, which could be beneficial one way or the other to the investigation. Anything else that would be pertinent to the demise of this child is going to be one known immediately. So even though we're waiting on the actual reports, hopefully a phone call comes in.
The medical report back, how are you kind of planning on doing the investigation? Are you going to divide and conquer with social services, and each of you guys take a different portion?
It depends on what the results are going to come back as. Right now, we've done a little of both. We have done some things together, and we've also, in terms of Fargo and West Fargo, we've kind of branched off and trying to get as many people covered as we can. So they're taking the information that they have pertaining to their city and running with it, and I'm doing the same as through West Fargo. In the end, it's all going to depend on what the medical records show of where we end up going with this case.
When was the last time you guys dealt with an incident similar to this?
You know, I guess to say similar is a little odd because every one of these cases is different. I know West Fargo did have a baby death last year. One of the other detectives handled that. The difference or the changes is right now we're just trying to determine what happened to this child. I know the previous one, they pretty much had a better idea of what did occur. Right now we have a trauma to the head, and we just need to explain how it happened.
You aren't sure in this still if it's an accidental thing or something more. Are you sure?
At this point, I can't make any comment one way or the other. Unfortunately, one of the biggest things we had to wait for was the baby to die for the autopsy to probably give us a better result of what we're looking at.
If it is deemed accidental, could there still be criminal charges pending?
There's a possibility of that. I can't say whether we will or will not go that route, but pretty early to judge without having any knowledge from what the medical examiner is going to tell me. So.
I know you said that the licensing is more of a social services issue and questions should be directed towards them, but is there any sort of charge that could be against Darcy, even if this is ruled an accident, because she was taking in these children at an unlicensed daycare center?
You know, Are there charges that could be looking at? Yes, but I could probably list off a couple, but I don't want to speculate on anything right now, let alone steer this investigation in a wrong direction if that's not the way we're going to head. I do know that social services has been involved since the beginning of the division, and the state has also been aware of what is occurring, not only with baby, but also just the daycare itself.
Is Darcy's past criminal activity factor in this situation at all?
I think anyone associated who's been around this baby that we are going to determine with the cause of death is going to have a full background on them. Whether it's significant or not is going to have to be decided either by investigators or the state's attorney when we present it.
If you get something back yet today, will we be harassing you guys tonight for information, or will you put something out?
If something came probably going to steer the investigation one way, and it is an open investigation, so how much we can release out of it, I'm not sure we'll be able to do on Friday. You know? Any other question? All right, thank you.
Thank you.